Hi, I'm Kay Byfield, and this is your Art Speaks moment. Students often ask me, how do you use your brushes? And that's a hard question for me to answer because I've been painting for a really long time, and it's second nature to me to use the brush. I also don't think anybody ever gave me instruction about how to use brushes, although maybe that would have been a good thing if they had. But I thought perhaps it would be helpful to you to see how I use my brushes and which brushes I use. So I use two brushes, basically. Well, two kinds of brushes. I use a flat brush and I use a round brush. And I have round brushes of a couple of sizes. And I have flat brushes of several sizes, including a really big flat brush. So let's walk through what we do with the different brushes. So it's of course obvious that with a flat brush, you can cover a lot of an area, a large area, fairly quickly. The other thing you can do with a flat brush, especially if you're on a cold press or a rough paper, is that if you brush across the surface very quickly, you get what they call a dry brush effect. So what happens is that the brush skips over the tops of the texture, and it makes a really nice texture, which can be very, very useful in doing a painting. Another thing you can do with a flat brush is you can vary your lines. You can also make straight lines by using the end of it. And what I do a lot with a flat brush is I soften edges with it. I wet the edge of another where I've applied paint in the past, and I just add some water if it's still wet. And that, of course, softens the edge. And I do that a lot. With a round brush, you brush, it takes a lot longer to cover an area. You can still do the dry brush. You also have a point, which can change the surface, the look of the surface. You can also use it to soften an edge. But what I tend to do is use the biggest brush that I can for what I'm trying to accomplish. If I have a really large shape and I want to cover it quickly, then I use a large flat brush. If I have a smaller shape or I want more control, I use the round brush. I hope this little bit of information about how the brushes are used is helpful, and I will go into greater detail in future videos. Thank you for your time.